Welcome to the Effects Loop. I'm Chris.
I'm Marissa.
And I'm Diaz.
And we're keeping you in the loop of the guitar community. This episode is brought to you by Stringjoy, makers of the finest strings on the planet. We all have used them. I've got them on, I think, most of my guitars at this point. If they're,
I got them on all of mine. Get on my level.
It's like if they're not on all of mine, they probably will be next string change because I don't ever play, so I have no need to change strings.
Weird flex, but okay.
Okay, we'll say this. When I first started, will you chill? Y'all will probably hear my dog in the background, so I apologize. We have to keep my door open for her.
Wait, hold on. It's a really cool thing about Stringjoy right now, keeping it relevant. They're actually doing a giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
I just saw it today. If you look for Stringjoy on Facebook, Instagram, I'm sure they're posting it. They're giving away Fender Telecaster, pedals. I know Greer amp stuff, like high-end good stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's no purchase necessary, and they're also doing 20% off on your order. So go enter that
prize. Oh, that is a prize. Okay.
I don't think that's a prize. I think that's just like everyone.
Oh, through the rest of the month.
I don't know. Maybe we should have thought more about it before mentioning
Probably.
it in the sponsor.
Go fact check us on that. Oh,
hold on.
Gosh.
Fake news. I'm just kidding. I'm keeping that one.
But
Let
yeah,
me look it up.
Oh, you're doing that real quick. Okay, so while he does
that,
yeah, we've really enjoyed Stringjoys. Like truly, I've been using them long before they sponsored us. So
yeah, well, and it was really cool because we all met them at Summer NAMM, and that's whenever we really made our relationship happen. And honestly, they've been great to work with. Finding what gauge strings, and that's not just because we are, a part of their family, they take care of us, but that's just because of the company they are. I got a set of strings in, and it's inevitable. It happens. Strings break, no matter what age. So I was putting on a new set of strings. E string broke. I sent an email to Stringjoy. I said, hey guys, it happened. A good thing my eye didn't come out, because that's what we're all afraid of for some reason.
Yep.
But in just a few days, I think it was like 2 or 3 days later, I had like 3 E strings. He asked, what set I'm using or what set it was on. Bam, sent him, no problem. And and it's not just because of who we are, but it's because who they are. So check them out. And so now through Sunday, so this will air on the 5th.
Correct.
So the Sunday after the 5th, I don't know how math works, but probably the 9th or something like that. They're doing full 20% off on their site.
Oh, that's cool.
So go check it out. They're trying to, it's the season to give, and that's what they're doing. And they're giving away prizes every day through Sunday. So you better get your name on the list, which I'm going to do right now, even though they sponsor us, because.
Oh my goodness.
What?
So, all right.
Pause the podcast, go sign up, and then come back.
Or if you can multitask, you can tell us what's new with you.
Okay. What's new with me is I just signed up for. No, I'm just kidding. So a weird thing happened this week that never happens to me. I was at church and they asked me to play slide. And it's not because I can't play slide. It's because that's just not the style we really play.
Right.
And he was like, I need some whale sound. I'm like, whale sound? I'm thinking like The Warmth by Incubus. I was like, I can do that. And he's like, no, and he played me this stuff. And I was like, oh, slide guitar. And I turned to my wife, Jess. I said, is my slide like in the truck or something? I couldn't find it. She said no. So I went and I got a bottle of root beer and a mill file. And I made a slide. So that was pretty cool.
Nice. I'm surprised you had a file on hand.
No, well, I had to go buy the mill file.
But how much time do you have between rehearsal and church?
An hour.
Jeez.
So in an hour, I went, bought root beer, a mill file,
Drank the root beer.
I drank the root beer, and then I filed the slide out of the top of it.
Nice.
So I mean, it's pretty quick. So if I can do that, I can look up a how to get a file, do it. So I did that, and it worked perfectly. So it was pretty cool.
Start building those and sell them.
We could do the effects. That could be part of our Patreon.
Ooh.
Adia's handmade slide. I've actually did pretty good with it. It's pretty even, and I looked up how to, kind of sand it down, and you just use water and sandpaper, and it's actually gotten pretty smooth.
Yeah.
So,
if y'all are interested in that, let us know. We'll figure out how to put our branding on it for you. So,
yeah,
Marissa,
I don't know if we can, but it would be pretty cool.
Yeah, Marissa, anything new with you?
What do you think?
Nope.
That's a big no. Oh wait, did I get the harness this week or last week?
I think I got like 3 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, why is that still on there?
I don't know, because I just copy and pasted it.
Oh, okay.
But slide got added.
I added the slide.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and I let the government in my house. Thank you, Coach Schneider.
Oh my goodness, my dog. All right. This episode is also brought to you by the musical stylings of my dog.
Which you're ding. Imagine if someone was hypnotized as a kid, and they heard that noise,
and
they just start barking, or they someone just starts quacking for no reason.
Oh my goodness.
Michael Newman's wife wakes up and sees him outside, walking around like a duck while the cows are running around.
What did y'all do to my husband? I have no idea.
That was not me.
All right.
Chris, anything new with you?
Nope.
No. So you got to say what your wife said.
What do you think?
I didn't say it like that. Oh my gosh.
No. This is how I picture. I should do it how I picture her in my head talking. What do you think?
Why does she sound like Marge?
Yes.
Is that what you imagine your wife sound like? Is Marge Bouvier?
Yes, because she gets Simpson? Mad at me whenever I do that too.
Oh my gosh, Jess is the same way.
Love you.
Did she leave?
Are you rage
Did she
quitting?
walk out?
Oh my goodness. All right.
We just made Marissa. We broke Marissa. Sorry.
Oh no, she put her headphones back on. We're good. So first thing on our news this week is Electro Harmonix is unveiling.
Wait,
hold on.
What?
No, we got something else new.
Oh right, housekeeping.
Yeah,
I didn't write that down.
Well, it sounds kind of rude when you say it like that. So if you notice, we are down a person.
Mm-hmm.
Scott has taken some time away from the podcast. He's stepped out. He's dealing with life outside the podcast and focusing on things there. So, I mean, nothing crazy. It's not like we're not talking or anything, but he'll still be contributing to the group and hopefully comes back on some episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So we wish him the best of luck there. And we still love him. And if you're listening to this, Scott,
if you're listening to us still,
if you still listen to us, Scott, it'd be really nice. I want to dedicate a song to you. If you listen to Blink-182's self-titled album, I'm Lost Without You, that one's for you, Scott.
First thing on our news list is the Electro Harmonix is releasing a Sovtek Deluxe Big Muff Pie, a Flatron? Am I reading that right? Fuzz and a Nano Battalion.
Flatiron?
Oh,
I'm pretty sure there's an I there.
There's an I.
It's all one word. They put it together.
You could look at it really quick, but it's Flatiron Fuzz.
I've had one cup of coffee today, so I'm going to blame it on that.
I don't drink any coffee, so that explains a whole lot about me. What is the artwork on the Flatiron Fuzz? I don't get it.
I'm guessing it's supposed to be like 20s, 30s New York.
People not use Flatirons anymore?
I don't know.
I don't understand.
What other pedal of theirs doesn't make sense of artwork wise? I'm sure there's
the Battalion artwork is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they came out with the small Battalion. Are they calling it something different? I didn't see.
It's just the Nano Battalion because they chopped out some of the features. So I think what's missing was the compressor, right?
Yeah, we talked about the compressor.
And I think a noise gate and the DI part of it is all chopped out.
So this is pretty much the EQ.
Oh, wait, no, it still does have the distortion.
No, it has the drive, though. I don't know if it, full on... It doesn't have, the EQ for the drive it did. So this one has a tone knob, and then it's got a treble and a bass. So it's kind of weird. It's not weird, but it's just different from the other one.
Yeah,
It does have where you can do
DI you like already. This is a nice way to incorporate that preamp section.
Yeah, so it has it's pretty cool. It has a way you can change the EQ position. So, and there's a toggle for mids. You can have flat mids, you can have a mid hump or a mid scoop, or you can have a dog barking. Then it's pretty cool. I like it. But a lot of their stuff that's come out looks good. So they've got the Deluxe Big Muff Sovtek. This thing looks kind of crazy. I always think it looks weird, like with the Russian. Like I know it's Russian, but
yeah,
this one straight up.
It's a little weird. It's not too terrible, but it definitely
it's a cool design.
Yeah, it sounds really good because they added, what was it? I think they called it like the Wicker something, like Wicker setting.
Yeah. So that was kind of a thing they did. I don't know exactly what the Wicker stuff does. The Wicker switch.
It's either, I listened to the video earlier, it was either it makes it stand out more or it like tones it down to where it is more balanced in the mix. It was one of the two. I have a feeling it was the first way of like making it stand out.
Yeah, but the price on these are fantastic. The Flatiron Fuzz is $72, Nano Battalion's 117, and the Deluxe Big Muff Pi is 149.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
I like I don't know.
The Fuzz is really
Flatiron,
good.
The Flatiron looks pretty cool.
Yeah, the Big Muff is pretty good. They didn't have a demo of the Flatiron.
It looks cool.
Sadly. Yeah, it looks cool. So hopefully it'll be fun.
Yeah. Let's see.
Next up we have Oh, did you have something else to say about?
No, I got this weird advertisement popped up.
Oh.
And I was like, sorry, it's like a person on a bicycle in your house watching TV. I don't know
my goodness.
what's going on.
All right. I'm going to try to talk over the dogs here. Gibson is releasing a Alpine White BB King Lucille 355 model.
Yeah, so the Lucille guitar, they've done the signature Lucille guitars for a while. I don't think they've ever done a white one.
No, I think it's been all historically
the black,
I don't
red,
think
and brown.
Oh, they have had red and brown?
Maybe. For some reason, I'm imagining it.
Whenever I've seen them for sale, I've only seen the black finish, but maybe that's just because that was what he played.
Well, I know he played a brown one for a long time. And let's see. I can hear you typing.
And that's Marissa typing.
I hear Marissa typing. Fingers of
letting somebody else fact check.
No, they've had a translucent red. They have had it. So I don't think they've had a white one.
Yeah, I think that's what the whole thing of this is the fact that it's a white version now.
I don't see them putting out a red one either. So I think they've only done black and red, or I mean a brown one. They've only done black and red. So this is pretty cool. The one thing that kind of throws me off is the bridge. It just
what type of bridge is that? Bridge? It's a fine. Oh god, it is a fine tuning tailpiece.
When did BB King have a Lucille with a fine tuning tailpiece? That's my question. Did he ever have it? I guess actually maybe it's kind of common. Okay. Well,
is it? Is it actually?
There's a 1991. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. BB King did use fine tuning bridges.
Oh.
So that's pretty cool. Well, I don't know why that doesn't seem like it would be that common on that guitar.
I don't know. I mean,
I just don't imagine BB King with a fine tuning.
Yeah, because it seems very odd. Because you always think of fine tuning, and you think whatever those vibratos are.
The Floyd Rose.
Floyd Roses, yeah.
And that's
how
fine
much
tuning.
trouble they are.
Yeah,
it just seems a little excessive, but
Huh. Is it from... I don't know. It's just kind of weird.
It is weird. Oh.
But it looks great. It does have the signature etched in on the bridge pickup, which is pretty cool.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a cool guitar. The best thing about this whole launch was the video that came out where the audio didn't match what the guitar player was playing.
Oof. Oh, is
And
that
it was
where
just
you
like-
came up with telling
that
me
I-
to do the
Yeah.
like play chords with lead playing over it?
Yeah, we should totally do that. All right, if you join the $500 Patreon level,
You'll get that.
you'll get the video. You'll get the exclusive rights, and you can put it on your YouTube and get 20 listens or views or whatever it's called.
So, since you had the old Lucille's pulled up, did they not have an F-hole on them either, or is that something new for this model?
Not having F-holes, he never had F-holes.
Okay.
Or he might have at some point, but his main... No, I don't think he's ever had F-holes.
Okay.
So this looks pretty dang close to what he would have played.
Yeah, I've been really digging white guitar, so if this wasn't 5,500, I would be interested.
I still would want one. Like
Yeah.
if I had like this, if I had the money, I totally would.
Probably.
Oh, you can go to AliExpress and get one with BB King's face on it. I highly suggest doing
Will
that.
that church?
No.
Having somebody's face on a guitar. Okay, so the next one is PRS is doing a limited run of maple on maple guitars. So maple neck, maple fingerboard.
If only these were made in Canada, they'd be like the ultimate maple.
With maple bodies as well.
So these look fantastic. I love the fact that the SEs are really kind of not stepping up in quality like they weren't great, but they're really trying an effort. They got rid of the flat tops for the most part and started doing carved tops to match the actual PRS line.
Oh, really?
Because the flat, if you look at all of those are carved tops.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's still the SE line, and they've got the bird inlays. Because I'm sorry, I would never buy a PRS that didn't have the bird inlays.
Mm-mm.
I just couldn't do it.
But
So, like,
I just don't know how I feel about, like, you've always seen them with rosewood or ebony, whichever one it is they use.
they did
Fingerboards.
quite a few maples for the 513 line. Which always wanted a 513. My buddy Kevin has a 513, and that was, I mean, because I was still kind of like, that was like the early start of PRS touching into Strat territory,
Mm.
because it had the 5 singles pretty much. It was 2, then 1, then 2, so 5 singles, like, and there was like 13 different configurations or something like that you
goodness.
could do.
So do these actually, like, look better in person with the maple necks than they do online? Because online they look...
Photoshopped because
Very-
you're not used to seeing it.
Yeah, or they just look... It looks so
The only thing I
bleached,
don't
guess,
like,
is what I could
well, the
say.
reason why is because of the black inlays. Like, I think that really makes it.
Yeah,
look
that
more-
always makes things look odd. Because even on fenders, I'd still prefer to have a pearl dot
the
marker.
really cool one, I think, in all of this is they do have one that has a Floyd Rose
Oh yeah.
I mean, that looks cool. I would mess with that. Heck, I would even like to get the left-handed one and turn it and play it right. That would be cool. That looks kind of cool.
Yeah, the
But yeah,
semi-hollow looks good too. And these are all the
it's a good line.
These are all SEs or just some of them?
They're all
They're all.
SEs.
Wow.
So, like I said, the SE line's really like, and I think this is probably going to be higher on the price point of the SE line, because they are the customs. So,
I mean,
they're
isn't
probably
that
going to be
still
up
sub,
there. I don't think I've seen a SE over 1,000.
Okay, that's still not bad for a PRS though.
No, and I've played quite a few of the SEs, and I mean they're not the Paul Reed Smith level quality, because it is made in Korea. Not saying it can't be as good of quality, but I feel like the American line has a lot more attention to detail.
I mean, you have to.
So it's a great line. It looks cool. It's got some good colors. That like kind of charcoal gray
Oh yeah, that
looks really nice.
Yeah.
So
The next one was actually, these are all pretty interesting to us. Joyo apparently is coming out with a new line. Last week we talked about the Joyo,
the overdrive,
whatever their overdrive was of this line. Looking at it real quick. Was it the Taran? Yeah, the Taran.
Yeah, that was it.
This week
I still want one of those.
Yeah, this week we saw the Uzi, which is their metal distortion.
What did you call it?
The Uzi.
Oh, I thought you said Uzi. I was like, it's like I don't think so, dude.
Nope.
Like, I'm pretty sure they were going for what we think they were going for.
Oh, goodness.
But this whole line is phenomenal. So we started talking about, you put in the Uzi to look at, but then we're just you mentioned, you're like, let's just talk about the whole line.
Yeah, because I actually went to their site, and as I was thinking, okay, are they just going to be rolling these out one by one, or do they actually have the series up? And they actually have the series up on their site, and they have a lot of cool stuff in it.
What do you think the Uzi's going after? Like the HM2 or the Metal Zone? Because the thing that messes with me is so it's kind of got the orange and black, which reminds me of the Boss, Metal Zone or Heavy Metal.
Right. Yeah, that's their looper.
But it's got a bias. Is it a, let's see, it's a high gain heavy metal. So with the bias knob, you can switch easily between American distortion and British distortion.
So I'm wondering if it's supposed to be their somewhat of an amp modeler, like not true amp modeler, but like amp distortion.
Like you're going for amp distortion.
Yeah.
Like you want that
like the Boss Microstack kind of a deal, like that territory.
Maybe. But I want to talk about some of the other stuff in their line. So they've got their cab box, which is really cool. It's got the different cab sims, and it's actually got a digital screen, which is pretty cool.
It's MIDI controlled too, and you can load in your own IR. Well, I don't know if you can load in your own, but they might have extras that you can load in.
It says IR loader. I'm assuming that it's right away. This is going to be great for the people. No, that's cool.
Yes,
but this is going to be great for the people who want to go full digital, but don't want to commit to the Helix or the Kemper. You've got different things you can do with this cab box, especially if you're like real big into using let's say the Milkman by Milkman amps, or it's Milkman the amp, right? Is that what it is?
I think that's what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, the Milkman is the JHS pedal. So Milkman is the amp. So you can run that, but you really want to have a cab sim if you're running direct. So it's...
Oh, is that just a preamp?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Oh, no, maybe it does have speaker in it. I don't know.
I don't remember. It's been too long.
I thought it was just like an amp in a box.
I thought it was too.
I don't know if it has the cab. Someone can correct us. I'm sure there's someone in...
Yeah, if you know, put it in the group and we'll talk about it.
But this is good for like you use the Joyo American sound. Those preamp pedals or amp simulating pedals, and you need to run direct. You need to have a cab sim,
or even just something like this by itself, because it's got a power amp modeler and an EQ, so you can probably even if you don't have an amp sim, you can probably tweak it.
Well, they're coming out with a new amp sim too, the Zip Amp. Oh no, that's not an amp pedal.
No, that's their... I was going to talk about that. I think that's supposed to be their clone.
Whatever. You made me mad.
I know. I clicked on it yesterday when I was putting together our sheet, and I was like, ooh, an amp sim. And then I scroll down the bottom and read it's like compressed overdrive. It's like, oh, clone. Okay.
That's silly. But they came out with the Aquarius. That's a delay. It's got a reverse delay, tube echo, tape echo, analog, digital, modulated, and it's got a looper. So this is kind of competing with the Flashback
and tap tempo.
It does have, you can hold it for tap tempo, no strum tempo, because that's stupid. Yeah, that was totally throwing shade at strum tempo. I'm sorry. No, that's a no from me. But the one that I was really freaking out about was the OMB, which is, it's a looper and a drum machine. And you can run it just looper, you can run it just drum machine, or you can run the looper and the drum machine together. And there's 7 genres of drum patterns. There's 7 drum beats in them. You can change the speed with tap tempo. You can have it's got a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, it seems like it'll be
It's
fun.
got pop, rock, blues, metal. I can't read that because I'm getting old.
Punk.
Jazz, Latin, punk. Oh my gosh, that's even funnier now. Oh man, I've been listening to a lot of pop punk lately too.
Same.
This is the perfect time of year for Blink-182 self-titled and Boxcar Racer. Oh, and Chris, by the way, I did listen to some Angels and Airwaves. Like I tried to give it another shot.
Everything still sounds the same.
I can't do it. I can't do it because it's like. And then I listened to some Plus 44 because I was like, man, I remember when this came out, and I listened to it and I was like, man, that wasn't as good as I thought I remembered it. My hatred for Angels and Airwaves
You should have
fueled that
just
album.
let it stay a positive memory.
It should have. Okay, so no, Plus 44 gave me one of my coolest memories because I saw them at their first show of their first like tour. They did a show in St. Pete at the State Theater, St. Pete, Florida, and I went with my best friend Chris and my bass player at the time, Jeff York. And we went and we saw him, and Travis Barker had just broken his arm, so he had to play one-handed. And it was like one of the coolest shows ever. Poor little Jeff, he's about half my height. He's a little guy. And he like got pulled into like a little mosh ring or something. I had to like reach in and pull him out. I'm pretty sure I saved his life. I was 17, saved the man's life. And then another guy was singing all the words to the songs, and they hadn't released the album yet. And Mark Hoppus looked at the guy. He says, "You know every word to our songs." And the guy's like, "Yeah, I'm your biggest fan." He goes, "We haven't released the album yet, dude. You stole it in front of an entire concert." Sorry. That was a great times. I miss them. Dang high school.
And before we move on to our topic, we should also talk about the Maximum Drive, and how much it's essentially the full Drive 2.
Yeah, you said it seems like a part for part.
I mean, it's got tone, gain, volume, and boost, 2 separate foot switches, a modded and standard switch, and 3 different clipping options. But there's like quite a few pedals that do that. But
there's quite a few drives.
This is also blue.
I guess maximum full drive, your maximum drive, I guess.
Yeah.
I like the silver knobs.
And it is MOSFET too.
Well, you know what? The guy who runs Joyo is still probably nicer than the guy who runs Full Tone.
Wow.
Shade.
I don't care. What is he gonna do?
Yell at us in an email?
Not talk to me? No. Robert Keeley. That's Robert Keeley who yells at people. Robert, if you hear this, please yell at me at Summer NAMM.
Just fulfill that fantasy of yours.
Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, my TV series I'm coming up with, Shark Tank, but praise and worship people have to try to get your owners to sponsor
should we
them.
get like? Oh, we should get Mark Schwartz to like do that. Like go around, like we'll film him at the different booths and have him like talk to people.
Mark would be the perfect person because listen, if you haven't hung out with Mark Schwartz, he's by far one of the funniest straight-faced people. I've never seen a person keep a straight face and say some of the most absurd stuff. He would be perfect
just for that. Like
you could just see him up there and be like, yeah. So, can I take this with me? Like, and you just see Robert Keeley go, no, you can get one. He's like, no. I want this one. I want this one. He's like, no. Listen, I play in front of like dozens of people.
Ooh, hopefully the Fender security guard will remember you from y'all's intimate moment that y'all had this last year, so that way we can talk to him and tell him it's like, no, it's okay. We're just gonna.
What if it's the same guy, which it's not, but if it is, which it won't be, we got a recorded video of me and him running together, slow motion with a hug, and just reunited, and it feels so good.
Okay, so which are we
Sorry.
gonna get copyright struck for this time? That or your brother's song? Or both?
Oh my gosh, we could have them compete. We could just change the order in the episode. I wonder if you know what. That was still one of my greatest compliments ever. I think is whenever we got a copyright infringement. Whenever I played Everlong in the demo for the Chromas, I was like, you know what? If I can confuse YouTube into thinking I was actually Foo Fighters, that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
So let's see. All right, let's move on to best starter guitars. Oh, dang it! You didn't say what the topic was.
Well, it's kind of going to be that's kind of
that's
along
the
the line.
topic.
Yeah, that's kind of the topic. But
That's the awkward introduction of the topic.
but since Christmas time is upon us, and you know, a lot of people are, you know, this is the time when people get guitars, and sometimes you end up with the Squire Starcaster, and other times you might actually end up with a good actual starter. So
my first bass that I got, my first instrument I had a guitar when I was like 8, and I didn't ever play it. I think it was like an old crappy Squire. But like I took like 6 lessons, and I just wasn't into it. And then, you know, later on I picked, when I started playing guitar seriously, the first thing I played was bass, and I got that for Christmas actually. So, I mean, Christmas is a big popular time to get, you know, instruments, especially for new people. I mean, it's one of those things where like Grandma Susan knows that little Billy wants to play guitar. So she finds this guitar that's $150, and that's her big present she gives them. But, you know, your first guitar is a really big thing because it'll make or break what's going to happen. If you get a guitar that's just crappy, tough to play, you're fighting it, you're not going to want to keep playing.
Yep.
And there's going to be people who be like, well, if you really wanted to play, you tough through. It's like, no, that's not always the thing. That's why there's products like Chord Buddy and Rocksmith and Guitar Hero, because people want to play guitar, but they start off with the wrong guitar. They don't. You're not learning the fundamentals easily. I mean, so I think it's I've seen a few lists, and I think a lot of them hit pretty well. All right, let's think about this. First guitar. Say that. What would you expect someone to spend on you for your first guitar? Because that's another thing too. Because when I think first guitar, I don't think a $750 guitar.
Oh no,
No.
I don't even think $500 guitar.
I think $350 max.
If you're lucky, otherwise
If
you
you're
might
lucky.
be looking at maybe $200, because that's what the guy at Guitar Center talked your aunt into getting.
My first 6-string was an Epiphone Les Paul Special 2, which came in that box, and that's what I got. It was a $150 guitar.
I don't even remember what brand mine was. It was a super like dirt cheap acoustic, as far as I know. My first actual guitar, I believe, was my Squire Telecaster that I still have. It wasn't like the Affinity series or like, I think it was the precursor to the Vintage Modern.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like that was my first electric.
I had so I started off with a bass. It was a Squire P bass. It was like Baltic blue, something like
Is
that.
that different from Cobalt Blue or Lake Placid Blue?
Yeah, it actually is. It was like a dark blue. And then the first guitar I actually played, I kept borrowing from my friend. Like I just took his guitar.
Yeah.
But because he still had a Jackson guitar. I forgot what was Jackson Kelly. Is what he had that he played. And I played his Fender Squire. But I think there's this first list we looked at, and this is
Yeah, the first.
What is that?
The first list was for
beginners
anything.
and experts.
Yeah. The second list we had was for under 500.
Yeah. So when that's 500 euro or dollars or euros or pounds or whatever that is.
Right.
I don't know your foreign money. So I say we talk about some of these. Yamaha Pacifica is a good, I think, starting guitar, especially the newer ones, because their quality has shot up tremendously.
Yeah, I've never played one, so I can't confirm that.
I played one at Summer NAMM.
Okay.
They had them, and they played pretty decent. You're getting they've upgraded a lot of the hardware, which seemed to be like one of the big problems with the original ones. The good thing about the Yamaha line is a lot of their necks feel really well.
Would you say they probably feel a little better than the like lowest end Squires that are out there?
Oh yeah. So that looks good. Gretsch G2262 Streamliner.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I would start.
That's 750. That's not. No,
No.
I'm not starting someone off at that.
Wait,
Nope.
This is only 450. I don't know what you're looking at.
Mine says the best electric guitars
Under 500.
under.
Yeah, this launch price
Yeah.
says $749.
Yeah, or 350 pounds, which I'm not.
I don't know what that means.
That's not-
I
there's
ignore
no
that.
way.
Yeah, look at the view on Amazon because the Streamliners are definitely not over 500 or barely over 500.
Yeah,
But I don't know if I would start somebody off with a Gretsch because even though the lower end Gretches,
they're tough to play.
yeah.
They're really not.
and they're not the
Um,
Gretsch sound. They're generic humbuckers most of the time. They're
Mhm.
not even a cheaper Filtertron.
Yeah, they're definitely not fantastic. I had a Gretsch. I've owned a few Gretches. I had a G3161, which was great. I love that, and I missed that one. And then I had another one, and I didn't keep it long. I ended up trading it, actually. I traded it for a Reverend. And it was okay.
Probably definitely the better choice.
Yeah. Let's see. We'll keep moving down the list. PRS SE Standard 24. So we just talked highly about PRS. I would get one in a heartbeat. If that was my starter guitar, I'd be extremely happy. That would be.
I mean-
That's one of those starter guitars that the person will keep and keep playing. Because a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
starter guitars. Chris, where's your starter guitar?
I've still got my Squire. That was my first. Well, the starter.
How often do you play
is-
it though?
Well, I kind of keep it as like a backup for
Yeah.
my junior at this point because it's.
But it's
the
not
only
your
other
go-to.
functioning guitar I have that's not
Yeah.
a 1960s that I don't want to take out that much.
Yeah, they but it's a great guitar. That's definitely one that if someone got, I'd say go for it. But it's still $500. So I
it
don't
might
see that
be
really
a-
being.
Yeah, it might be a good second. Like little Jimmy's been like doing really good at the guitar lessons for the last year, and you want to upgrade him.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely a good upgrade.
Yeah. Epiphone ES335 dot. Once again,
I don't know if I would
That's-
start somebody off on a dot either.
no. Well, the problem is too, the Epiphone necks on those. I mean, it's built like almost like an acoustic. It's a little
Yeah.
thick.
Isn't that how
And-
most of the 335s are though?
Yeah, I don't care for it too much. And not saying starting off on acoustic necks bad, but when you play electric, you're not wanting to just play chords.
Mhm.
You want to play the moving lines and stuff like that. I don't know. I think it looks good, but the next two, like the rosewood on the Epiphones, always seem a little dry to me.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
is there an
I'd
Epiphone
say-
Les Paul on this list? No. The middle. What's the middle of the line? Les Pauls that are out there. Are they still the standard and like standard plus? Like the
Like
step
Epiphone
above
or-
the specials.
Yeah, they're just the standards.
Yeah, those are. I remember them
I
being
don't think.
decent.
Do they do a studio? They don't do an Epiphone studio, do they?
No, I think the closest thing to the studio for Epiphone is the specials that are standalone, not the ones in the kit, which I would assume are the same, but you never know.
And then we got the Schecter Demon 6. That's like the perfect starting guitar for the kid who loves
Metal.
like Black Veil Brides or Avenged Sevenfold.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a second guitar. I mean, if you bought it used, you could probably get it for $250, $200.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's pretty. Is it niche?
Yeah.
Niche. Niche.
We'll skip this Squire because I definitely want to hit the one that's lower down. This actually, this surprised us. The Chapman,
there's a Chapman ML2 modern standard Les Paul style, which okay. So the weird thing about this, and the only gripe I have about it aesthetically, is the signature on the headstock, and like that being the thing, it looks like an Esteban, like a Keith Urban.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, but it's actually a pretty cool guitar, and because it's a Chapman, I would kind of want one.
Yeah.
Like, I would love this one. I would love to turn this kind of into like a bucket head with a kill switch.
What is this?
Like the arcade button. What?
Scroll through. Go to the second image.
Okay.
And look. What is this neck joint?
That's actually.
It looks like
cool.
It looks cool. It's just confusing.
Chapman guitar by Esteban.
And also, I didn't know this had a. What is it? The natural wood trim. It's got that around it.
Okay.
That's for $500. That's pretty good.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I want one of those. Dear Z Zounds. Or is the Zounds. Or is it, however they pronounce it. And is it. Yeah, in the back of the neck and everything is a natural finish.
This would be solid. Like, I'd even be tempted to. I mean, I'm not a fan of like carved Les Pauls like that.
No, this is like straight up the perfect guitar if you want to do like a Metallica cover band.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If I had this guitar, I'd be playing Masters of Puppets so hard on it. Sorry.
You're fine.
I just got really excited about this guitar.
The next one was
$499.
Yeah, $499. It's not bad at all.
Or $449. That's a fantastic. They've got it left-handed too.
Ooh.
Okay, so sorry. That's like
for features. That's definitely a good one.
That's a fantastic guitar.
Yeah.
Someone buy this. Do it.
The next one that they had in the list, which I kind of agree with as my browser crashes, is the Squire Mustang.
The Bullet
Mustang. I know a lot of the people from the 60 Cycle Hum podcast, like that whole
now
group.
We owe them $5.
Yep. You can take it up with our accountant. Just send them an email.
I'm sorry.
But they all really enjoyed the Bullet Mustang.
Is your dog going through ornaments? Is she putting up the tree? Like, she's like, if you guys aren't going to be in here doing this with me, I'm doing it myself.
No, we have bells on our door, so I don't know if she needs to go outside again or if you're just being a pain in the ass. And
all right, so everyone come back in about 5 minutes. We're taking a bathroom break. Smoke if you got them. Just go for it, okay? All right, so a lot of people have talked very well about these. Mm-hmm. So I'm not a Mustang fan, really, pretty much in the slightest. I don't like short scale, because I'm already a big guy, and it makes me feel like I'm playing a toy. So, I don't know. I think this is like a guitar that would be, it's a great first guitar. So I'll definitely say that. I think this would be a great guitar for your first one because you can beat the living hell out of it and not care.
Yeah.
This is like your first guitar that you put stickers on.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you used to go to the Pizza Hut and they had the little sticker thing. And you're like, Mom, give me some quarters. Your mom gave you all the quarters she had, and the 2 dimes and a nickel. You had to run up and get the change from the cashier, and you run over, then you get the stickers, and then you go, and for some reason you've got an alien riding a skateboard on your guitar, and you've never seen an alien or a skateboard. So that's a great guitar for this.
Mm-hmm. And the other one I wanted to mention too with this was the SL. It's an okay,
Epiphone.
yeah, the Epiphone SL. I think everybody said the Bullet was a slightly better out of the box.
Yeah.
But if you want a normal scale guitar for the same price of sub 150, sub 200, the Epiphone SL is definitely a
So
good
the
choice
thing
with
about the SL and the reason why I thought about getting one. I think you and I even messaged about it at one point.
probably.
I think because I wanted a TV yellow and a black pick guard or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the guitar you were gonna get, the guitar you got had a black pick guard, right?
It had Sunburst. I think it was
I
the
think the
darker
Sunburst-
not the
I think it came with a black
cherry.
pick guard.
Yeah.
And I was joking around saying we'd swap pick guards. You could put a white one on that, but because they didn't sell the pick guards by themselves. I thought about getting one. The only problem is 60 Cycle Hum did a really good job of showing. I mean, they beat the living crap out of it, but a lot of it was just like pressed wood. It seemed like the body
Yeah,
was what
It definitely
like I don't know.
it wasn't quite plywood, but it definitely had that like feel to it, if that makes any sense. Like definitely layered and
Yeah.
would chip
So
away.
I'm sure the Squire isn't much better, but the thing is
It's actual basswood and
yeah,
all that good stuff.
it's yeah. But you're also doing it's a 2 different price points because the SL was under $100, wasn't it?
When I got it, it was 99. I think it may have gone up to 120.
Okay, but it's still under this in price. So
Yeah.
that respectfully, you got to look at it that way. But I don't know. I hate that every time you see Fender Mustang, someone has to like invoke Kurt Cobain. That's literally in the description. The original Fender Mustang is something of a cult classic. It was loved by alternative bands and players, including Kurt Cobain. It was also loved by like old chicken pickers and like
Mm-hmm.
different people like that. Who was the guy who just passed away? I can't remember his name.
I have no idea. But I've definitely seen Mustangs and like country, like older country stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's not all about Kurt, guys.
Mm-hmm. I
It's
think
not
the
all about
last
Kurt.
one that we wanted to mention from this list before we kind of went into our own suggestions was the Jackson X series.
Yeah,
I think you said you kind of liked something about this.
I love this guitar. So it's the Adrian Smith signature. Adrian Smith from Iron Maiden. He's a fantastic metal guitar player. He's, done a lot of stuff that's become standards. This guitar looks like what you expect from Jackson. It's a super strat. And it just has a really good look to it. I do love the mother of pearl inlays. But it does have a Floyd Rose special locking tremolo, Jackson tuners. It's a nice snow white. So, and then you've got a white cavity. I love white on white with the pick guard and the body, especially whenever the white on the body is a little bit darker.
Oh yeah.
It looks great. And this is $440 or $499. It looks like a lot of places have it about $549. But I think it's a great guitar. This is like also a second guitar in my opinion. This is for the guy who's like, he plays his first guitar, and like you said, Jimmy goes to classes for a year, and we get him a guitar that kind of goes towards what he likes to play. But it's nice. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another Gretsch,
Yeah.
which we all talked
Yeah.
about. Gretsch is not.
It's such a niche
I don't-
market, but as far as personal suggestions from me, I would definitely be a fan of the Squire Classic Player Series. I believe is that the lower end? Without going to the
Yes.
Affinity line,
Yeah,
those are
there's-
definitely good because I've even thought about getting the Strat from that line because was it $350-ish? That's not terrible, and you're not paying for a full-fledged Fender.
Yeah. I would say one of the ones I would suggest, the big thing is you want a well-rounded guitar. So I would probably have to suggest for a first guitar, the Epiphone SG400.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
That-
I forgot about those.
That was one of my first guitars. So I got rid of the Les Paul Special 2. I bought a Jackson, and I was not smart enough to work it because it did have a Floyd Rose, and I jacked something up, and I took it back to Guitar Center. I was like, it's broke. I've messed it up. And the guy was just like, what the hell did you do to this? I was like, dude, I was just trying to change the strings. Like, that's all. So I traded that back. I returned it and got a SG400. I had that guitar for years. Actually, I lit it on fire
Oh, geez.
I lit that on fire for a Matthews Effects contest because I tried modding it and I tried taking the like I was gonna paint it a different color, and I jacked it up massively, like beyond repair. So, but the SG400 is really great because you can cover a lot of sounds. And I think that's a big thing. Whenever you're learning how to play guitar, you want to sound like the person you're emulating.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big thing too. So SGs already can do like a kind of nice twangy sound. They're comfortable as well. They're not super heavy. And I mean, besides the neck dive, they're light, they're comfy. So that would be my pick all day, every day would be the SG400.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to agree with you, Diaz. I think that's
take
what
that,
I
America.
had.
Because what?
Did you really have an SG400?
Is that what I had? The
When?
black one?
I don't even remember.
That was
And
a
the good
long
thing
time
about the
ago.
SG400 too is you can find them everywhere because someone's always selling one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So that might have been it.
Let's see. I'm gonna go on my marketplace right now. SG400. All right, here, I've got one right. I've got posted 2 days
Oh,
ago.
my goodness.
He's looking to trade for a good hollow body electric. SG400 an amp, $450 with a Behringer V amp and a foot controller. So that's not a horrible. One guitar, one amp, and one pedal board. Ooh.
These dogs.
Oh my gosh.
So since we talked about guitars, do you want to do a quick little starter amps? If somebody's like not buying the kit, or do we still all like kind of stand by the katanas at this point? Still?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I still stand with the katana. I stand with the katana. I don't know.
The new line, was it the Spider 6 is the most recent version?
Yeah,
That essentially
I think so.
has everything. I think
Helix
it's everything
related
out of
almost?
it's out of the Helix. Got this like similar interface and all that stuff.
Yeah, that would be a good one. I don't care who you are. One of the Line 6 Spider 4s. Just any of the Line 6 Spiders, the 3 or the 4, those are great starter amps too. Because the thing is you can sound like different genres. And the whole point is especially when you play guitar and you're starting out, you're wanting to learn so many different genres for the most part.
Mhm.
I mean, every once in a while you get the people who just only want to learn the chugga chugga metal and all that. But if you're going to be if the person really wants to play guitar, they want to learn different styles. They'll listen and be like, oh, I want to sound like that on something on the radio. And being able to play and sound different.
So definitely
Very
a
easily.
modeling amp would definitely be a good starter.
Yeah, I'd say a modeling amp or even a good multi-effects board that has like a headphone out. One of my first things that I had was a Zoom oh my gosh, GFX 5 or something. Let's see. I can't remember what it was called, but I had a Zoom multi-effects and it was pretty cool. It did a lot of neat stuff, and it had a Van Halen setting, which was fun. So I mean, that's what I'd suggest. The main thing for buying for a new guitar player is getting a lot of ground with with less money.
Yeah, definitely.
You want to cover a lot of ground, unless they're like totally obsessed, and the only reason why they picked up guitar or whatever is because of this one person. I'd stay away from pigeonholing a guitar player too, because you're doing them a disservice, in my opinion.
You want to mention bases? Because I know you mentioned that you had a starter bass or something.
I had a Squire P bass, and that was my first instrument, my first bass, or my first guitar. Really, that's what got me into playing guitar too.
Yeah, because those aren't that bad. Because isn't that what we bought you, Marissa? Was
I think so.
old
The
Affinity
blue one.
line one? It wasn't too terrible because I even used that a couple of times when I had to fill in bass.
No,
Oh
they
my gosh.
weren't that
Okay,
bad.
Hold on, can you go run her out, please? Thank you.
Yeah.
She's flipping out about something.
The Squire makes a fantastic bass. And that's another thing too. I've seen a lot, some of the new stuff, like the modern bass, like the vintage stuff.
Oh yeah, I had one of those. Those are really solid.
The vintage modern bass, or vintage modified. That's what they're called. Yeah. $350 new. And they play great. I went to this worship night and the bass player was playing one, and it sounded fantastic. I think if you're doing the SDGR, the Sound Gear, Ibanez Sound Gear, those are great too. I feel like with basses, a lot of the lower end stuff still plays pretty well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which is really awesome. I mean, Ibanez Sound Gear, the Squire stuff. I'm trying to think who else. Isn't there like a lower end Warwick? Or not
There might
really?
be, but I don't know if it would be like beginner level stuff.
Probably not. There's just a lot of good stuff.
The
as
orange,
long as you,
the new orange bases. I think those came out this year or last year. I think
haven't
they're
played them.
sub 500, and I think I've played one once.
ooh. Oh, I don't know if I forgot. Just bear with me, people. Sorry. I don't know if it's in a new guitar player. Okay, Sire Marcus Miller. Good basses too. You can find some of the lower end ones. There's a Marcus Miller signature 4-string bass, $399. And basses are good too, because you can get a low end bass and they can last.
Oh yeah, they'll last forever because, like you said, they seem to be pretty solid. Definitely a little more solid than like lower end guitars, in my opinion.
Well, the market is smaller because there's always going to be less bass players than guitar players. And so I think like they've got to put out a better, lower quality, better product. I mean, if Epiphone sells you a $150 guitar, they still did fine, but it's not like you don't see bass players that own like 7 basses as much as you see people, guitar players who own 7 guitars.
Yeah.
That's the thing too, is the culture, the culture of the, bass player world and the guitar player world are totally different.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think the bass industry's realized, we got to do well at the entry level, because they're going to hold on to that for a lot longer than if they were to buy another guitar.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty fair.
But TC Electronics had a bass amp that you could play standing up or laying down. It actually sounded pretty good, and that would be a good way to go in bass for an amp for bass. They've got a lot of lower end bass stuff, and and bass players too play a lot of DI stuff, so that works well. You can find a lot of like Sans amp stuff used in the $130 area.
Or even if like your kid's got or whoever you're getting it for has like an iPad or iPhone already, GarageBand isn't that bad. iRig, like that's still $30 ish, and
Yeah, Line 6 Sonic ports.
Yeah, that way
like,
you don't
you've
have
got a
to
lot of
actually
cool stuff.
buy an amp and put up with them playing it on 10 in the middle of the night.
Yeah, no, I support you. I just don't want to hear you.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, they've got a lot of great stuff.
So does that kind of wrap that up?
Yeah, holy crap.
think
I
so.
actually am surprised we lasted this long without Scott.
Yeah, I think that was definitely you're turned up. What? Do you want to say something? Say something.
just-
No.
You're waving.
talking to
You're
the mic.
waving at me.
This episode is brought to you by American Sign Language.
Yeah, that I don't know.
The language of the American Sign.
Actually, at that, neither one of us know. So you're just kind of waving blindly.
She's trying to say goodbye. She's saying,
Is that what you're
let's
trying to say?
get off
You
here.
just do this if you want to say goodbye. Okay, good. We're doing the little bear waving at the car gif, if you've seen that.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Like we said earlier, if you skipped ahead, Scott did back out for a little bit. We do miss him. Definitely missed him on this. I'm sure he would have had a very good opinion on some lower end stuff. But I also want to thank our sponsors one more time, Stringjoy, for being amazing at everything that they do.
Go check out their giveaway.
Yeah,
You can get free stuff.
as
I'm trying to get free stuff. You try to get free stuff.
their website's stringjoy.com, I believe. Going off the top of my head.
Wow. I know that it's stringjoy.com, Scott. Marquette.
Wow.
Just
This
throwing that out
is
there.
why I never do the sponsor spots, because I am bad at it. But
I just found an SG400 for $250, throwing that out there.
did you actually?
Yeah, no, it's right here. I've got it. It's got the little orange cap on the pickup selector, which is pretty cool. I always like that. Sorry. That's in Huntsville,
yeah, I think
Alabama.
that's it. So thank you
Yeah.
guys for joining us. And I guess for the effects loop, I've been Chris.
Wait. Did you tell him to leave a review on iTunes?
No, I didn't.
Jeez.
Did you tell him to follow us on Instagram at the effects loop?
No, I didn't. And
Did you tell him to join the Facebook group, facebook.com/the effects loops or /groups/the effects loops?
no, because it's a dead group. Nobody posts in there ever.
Well, it wouldn't be dead if people would join. Wow,
I'm
that was
kidding.
just negative. Just negative.
You're done.
I had to I had to just like
and
do that layup deny, just pop back down.
man, wow, that's just some self-loathing right there. All right, go check out our YouTube, and if you have any ideas for topics, or if you want to submit your audition video for the open host spot of the effects loop.
Yeah, because today it was filled in by my dog, and as you could tell, she's not the best at staying on topic. And oh, I have the idiot one next to me now. Hi. So yeah, we're not fully sure what we're gonna do about that yet. So bear with us as we figure out the transition, and we'll definitely let y'all know in the group.
Yeah, but you can email us at theeffectsloop@gmail.com.
Yeah, we check it occasionally, every so often. Jamie Davis still looking at you from a while back. So yeah, I've been Chris.
Marissa.
I'm Diaz.
Thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you next week.
All right, see you guys.
Bye, guys.
Come together, show some love. This song is not about race or politics, but the hate that resides in the hearts of men. Desperate times calling desperate measures. So why don't we be desperate to love each other? Yeah.
Let's erase hate from the dictionary. Why is negativity always drawn out? Picture every visualized love. Energize lives together.
Welcome to the Effects Loop. I'm Chris.
I'm Marissa.
And I'm Diaz.
We're keeping you in the wow.
Loop?
Wow.
It's in our
No, it
fucking
is.
name.
Okay. Really? Chill.
Just let this be the intro. Just roll with it.
let us get the second part of the intro. Ish.
Wow.
And we're keeping you in the loop of the guitar community. And
Yeah,
that's-
don't edit any of that out. Just let it be a tirade. This episode's brought to you by censorship.
This episode is brought to you by my dog that keeps wanting
Tipper
attention.
Gore just had an aneurysm.
Ah.
That was early 90s relevance. There you go. Or was that late 80s?
I don't even know.
Gosh, who cares? All right,
All right,
do the thing.
Stop staring at me, dog. All right.